Hey, what's up, guys? I'm back and making another video about salary progression in tech. If you stumbled upon my channel, I post stuff about coding, breaking into tech as a software engineer, system design, finance, and like other stuff that might be related to other 20-somethings in their lives trying to figure out life after college as a new grad, moving to a new city, and just sort of getting used to like life after college. Hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps me and feeds the YouTube algorithm to like sort of promote my videos and help other people who might be looking for the same thing. A little bit about me. I'm Justin, and I'm a software engineer living in New York. I currently work at Google, and I'm making another video about this time about my salary progression as a software engineer. There's a lot of data about this, but I wanted to share my own personal story to sort of show show my path, which was a little bit unconventional. I came out of college and I sort of went into entrepreneurship. So, and then I eventually found my way back into big tech just during COVID-19, and kind of just looking into it. I started out in college and I studied computer engineering, and I got my first internship my sophomore year, and my first internship was in the Bay Area. It was in Palo Alto, and I was making 37 an hour. And this internship was full time. I worked 40 hours a week, and I was on the team that was working on internal projects. I didn't really like it that much, but I made a lot of great friends. I didn't know if I liked the company. It was very like chill and a little bit slow. I'm personally like very ambitious, and I like working more, I guess, which is a little bit against the norm in tech, but I really enjoy like sort of making the most of my time. I got the return offer, but I ended up not taking it, and instead I took another internship my junior year, which paid around 43 an hour base pay. There was a housing stipend, so overall the amount came up to around 48 an hour. If you took the housing stipend and then divided it hourly. I lived in San Francisco that summer, and it was really fun. I had a great time working there, and it was just like a great way to like get used, live in a city for my first time. I made tons of amazing friends that I still keep in touch with now, and just like really built a network in the industry. So my friends in that internship ended up going on and starting their own companies and working in big tech firms. And similar to a lot of other industries like banking, consulting, like your internships, you make like tons of great friends and really set your foundation in the industry. If you like network well, you can definitely like have a lot of connections, and it'll help you later on in your career. And just to like, it's great to like have like friends that you knew from a summer where you were just like sort of experiencing a new place for the first time, and they end up living in the same city as you, like New York. It's like a really great opportunity to like sort of network and meet new people. So I got a return offer at that internship, but I ended up not taking it, and instead got my first job and moved to LA, where I was getting paid 120K a year. So this is a pretty normal starting salary for a software engineer. A lot of my friends got six-figure salaries at big tech like Microsoft and Facebook, but I think that making 100K is pretty normal, especially in California, since living in a high cost of living area, most of it gets taken out by taxes and rent anyway. So if you study computers, it should be pretty attainable to get 100K. It's much harder to get it in a place like the Midwest because rent and food and everything just costs less. So if you the best jobs for new grads would probably be big tech just because learning opportunities. I decided to start a startup because I was very passionate about working on something that I believed in. And a startup I was working in the mobility space, which I thought was really interesting, and also was related to my last internship, which I really enjoyed. And then, unfortunately, 4 months into that job, like as startups go, I was laid off because we ran out of money. So then, after my first job, I took a freelancing gig to pay for rent, and I was getting paid around $75K a year. So freelancing was a very different experience where I went from something really structured, like having an entire team where I was the only person working on a product, and I worked very closely with the CEO of the company that I was working at, and it was a very good experience to test a lot of new things. I think that if you have like an entrepreneurial flair, there's no better place to learn about as many things in the business world as well as the tech world as there is in a small startup. I was wearing a lot of hats. I was writing marketing emails. I was also writing code. I was talking to customers. Basically everything you can expect from a startup I was doing. And whenever I was getting paid based on like just being there instead of getting paid as a software engineer. So whenever the CEO needed like help with like writing a marketing email, I would jump on and help it. If he needed help onboarding new customers or onboarding new freelancers onto like the platform that we were working on, I would help do that. We were working on like a barber app for people in Los Angeles to request a barber and request a haircut whenever they on demand. So I was helping onboarding hair artists and customers and making sure everybody understood how to use the platform. I was doing research studies on how to improve the UI. And I was also figuring out how to grow sales and also increase revenue. So overall, it was a great experience. While it was really tough, I probably wouldn't do it again. It was a great learning experience so early in my career. So afterwards, the only natural place to go after a startup is to make your own startup. So I went into entrepreneurship where I was making $0 an hour. Entrepreneurship, what they don't tell you in school is that it's very risky and you don't really know how it's going to end up. And you won't be making anything while you are working more hours than you would at a different place. Here I was just trying a bunch of different startup ideas and seeing what sticks. The main goal of this was to, of course, generate revenue. You're sort of living on your savings at that point. And because of that, your main goal is to get money. So I would launch new companies or like new products after like 2 weeks of building, just rapid prototyping, seeing what stuck, going back to the drawing board, and eventually I found something that did stick. And I started an Amazon FBA business where I was importing products from China and then selling them in the US. I found two niches that worked really well for me, and that generated around $75K a year. So that itself was a major success story because it's really hard to find a product and also find something that was profitable. I managed to get like around 75K worth of profit, selling more than 6 figures in revenue in a year. It was just a very, very lucky find. I was selling generic vacuum batteries, and because of that, I was able to like feed myself and also pay rent without having to rely on like people like my parents, and also like taking working odd jobs like charging birds or like being a mechanic. It was nice being able to be at my computer again and just like working on the high level business stuff. But unfortunately, like all good things, it must come to an end. And during COVID, I lost most of my sales and closed up shop. So I was back at $0 an hour during COVID-19. So COVID gave me a good time to sort of reassess my priorities and also realized that maybe what I was doing wasn't the best way of using my time. So I went back to my roots and I studied everything that I learned in college and got ready for software engineering interviews and landed eventually at Amazon, where I was getting paid $195K a year. So this is sort of where the story becomes a little less interesting. Once I was in big tech, it was very cut and dry. As long as I put in the work and I do what is expected of me, I will get the salary that I think I deserve. And I did that, and I did about 2 years at Amazon. I got numerous raises, and eventually towards the end I was closer to around 220K per year. But a couple of months ago I got an offer from Google, and as well as a promotion, so I ended up taking it. So now at Google I'm at around 300K a year, and this is all for about 2.5 years worth of experience. I think that once you're in big tech, it's very easy to jump between big tech and demand higher salaries, just because you're getting extremely valuable, like, large-scale experience. This experience isn't something that you can normally get at a startup. Typically, when you land a big tech job, even if you worked at a startup, you'll get this thing called down-leveled, because the experience that you might have gained at the other job isn't directly applicable to the job that you are applying at big tech, and because of that, they will down-level you in responsibilities and scope in order to also give you a lower salary. So once you're in a big tech company like Amazon, Facebook, it's much easier to jump between other big tech companies because they consider the experience comparable. So because I was at Amazon for about a year, and also I did well in my interviews, I managed to get the salary that I wanted as well as a promotion, instead of waiting for a promotion cycle at Amazon. I think that the career trajectory for software engineers is very backloaded in a way, and it was also front-loaded. You get a very high starting salary, but typically there's a huge influx of junior engineers, whereas there's less senior engineers. So once you get to the mid-level, then you can really start increasing your asking power, your bargaining power, because there's a shortage of supply there. There's a lot of people trying to break into tech, but the people that end up getting to a mid-level, there's generally less of them, and that's really the sweet spot of where you can start increasing your leverage, so to say, and asking for higher salaries. So from here, for me personally, I think the next big jump from mid-level is to senior level, which happens around 5 years, and that should be another increase of jump between 300 to 500K. So typically most companies in big tech can pay that. It's going to be a split between equity, base, and bonus. But if you, with a mid-level to a senior level jump, it's possible to get that increase in salary. And then from senior level, it gets increasingly harder to increase salary, based on what I've read and the data I've gathered. From senior to director level, it's another jump to around 750 to maybe $1 million. But that jump is harder since you need to start showing more impact and also lead teams. So thanks for watching. If you like my story, just hit that subscribe button and follow me on my path. Hit the bell as well as the like button, all that whole YouTube shebang, because we're all at mercy of the algorithm. But thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Peace.